Hello everyone and welcome to my Flipaclip series. In this video we're going to learn how to use Flipaclip tools, and it's just going to be like an introduction video. So with that said, let's click on the plus sign to add our new project. Then we'll name our project. For this case, let's just use intro, and then we'll go to the background section. So now for this section we have 4 icons. The first icon lets you select already saved backgrounds that came with the app. So let's just use this one. If you don't like that one, you can use the second icon to select a color as your background. You can use this circle here to select the color that you want, and you can use this inner circle to select the shade of the color that you want. And you can use the third icon here to select an image that you want to use as your background. The last icon here is your camera icon. You can take a picture of what you want to use as your background and select that. So with that said, let's go to the format section. So for the format section, you have 2 options: your canvas size and your frames per second. So for the canvas size, we're going to be using YouTube 720p, and for frames per second, we're going to be using 8. Let's use 8 for this one. So the frames per second just have to do with how smooth, or let's just say how many frames that represent a second on your animation. Like if we were to take this to 1, we have the 1 frame representing 1 second, and we have 1 frame of the ball at the top here, and we have 1 here. And if we were to increase this to something like 3, we have a more smoother animation than the first one, because we have the ball at the top here, and then we have the ball like almost hitting the ground at this point here, and then we have it, and then we have it flat on the ground here. So that's how it is. If we increase the amount of frames, that's like you're giving it more detail to the 4. So let's just use 8, and then we go to create our project. Once you've opened your project, you should have your tools by the side here and your canvas at the middle, and we have some other tools here. So we want to focus on these tools for now, and then we gradually move to the other tools. So let's start with the first tool, being the brush tool. So the brush tool lets you draw on your canvas, and that's about it. If you click on it again, you have 3 other options that come with it. And the first one being the brush type. You can select any brush type that you want to use to draw. We're going to be using pen for this video. And the next one is your brush size. So if you click on this and like you hold it, you can adjust the size of your brush. Right now it's at 10 pixel. So let's increase this to 52, and then we draw. We have a bigger size of brush, and we can reduce this by dragging it down. Just hold on it and drag down. Let's keep this at 10, and that's it. So we have a much smaller brush now. So we can use the next option, which is the brush color option, and we can adjust the color that we want, and then we set the shade of it, and that's it. So we have a different color of brush now. Let's set this back to black, and once we're done, we go to the next tool, which is the eraser tool. So the eraser tool lets us erase items from our canvas, and that's just about it. So let's just undo this. We have our drawing back, and we can click on the eraser icon to open up its own options. First one here is the eraser type. Just similar to the brush type, we can select different eraser types. So for the next option, we have the eraser size. So for now we have 175 pixels, so we can reduce this by dragging it down to 68, and we have a much smaller eraser. So if we want to increase it, we just drag it back up, and that's it about the eraser size. So the next option we want to look at is this one here. So the way this works is, if we reduce this to 0, let's just increase this. Okay, so if we reduce this one to 0, this just has to do with the how hard the eraser is and how soft the eraser is. So if we reduce this to 0, we have a much solid and hard erasing. So we can just wipe this off with one swipe. And if we increase this to let's say 100, we have a much softer erasing. So if we are to erase this, it doesn't erase completely. It still leaves some marks there. So that's it about the hard and soft erasing. Let's look at the last option here. Let's reduce this back 0%, and then we come to this last one here. Now this one here is the opacity, or let's say the transparency of the eraser tool. So if we are to erase this, okay, so now let's set this to 100%, and we have hard erasing just completely gone. And if we're to reduce this, let's say to 20%, and now I try to erase, you see we have like a very light erasing. It's like similar to the hard and soft eraser, but this one just has to do with the transparency of the eraser. So that's just it about the eraser tool. Okay, so now the next tool we want to look at is the lasso tool, but before that we need another drawing here. So let's draw this with the eye. Okay, not the best drawing I've made. Let's just make this gorgeous. Okay, so now we have a face here. So now we want to learn how to use the lasso tool. So the lasso tool lets us select a particular item or drawing on our canvas. So once we trace around it, and we can select that item, and we can move it around our canvas. We can adjust it by stretching it out using the transform box, and we can use the circle at the middle to set the pivot points of the entire transformation. For example, if we want to rotate, and we put this here, sorry, let's put it here. Doesn't really have to go, oh sorry, let's select that back again, and then we take this here, and if we rotate, the entire rotation works towards this point here, because that's where we set the anchor point to be. So with that said, that's it about the anchor points there. So let's just leave it and select this again. Okay, so now let's look at the options at the side. So we have the transformation box here, or we can call it translate and scale, and we have the perspective box here. If we press hold on it, and you will be able to see the names. So if we want to change the perspective of our face here, we can bend it like this, or like this, using different parts of the box. So that's it about the perspective. So let's reset this back to the way it was. Okay, and just for like a bonus, we use this arrow here to undo, and use this to redo. So that's it. So let's go to the next one, which is this horizontal flip. We can click on it to get just an horizontal flip. The other one is the vertical flip, and the last one is your delete. So that's it about the lasso tool. Okay, one more thing is that you can select an item, and you can use this icon here to copy that item, and then you can use the paste icon to paste that item, but it's going to paste the exact position that you copied the item from. So that's why we have two items at the same place. So let's undo that. We don't need the face anymore. So let's look at the fill icon. Okay, now that we have our face here, and we want to fill this face with a different color, so let's just come to the color option there. Let's take this to orange, and then we select this color here, and then we fill it, and now we have our fill here. Now the way the fill tool works, let's zoom in a little bit. Okay, it only affects items that are completely closed. For example, if we have an item like this, and we have another one here like this. Okay, so now this one here is closed, okay, so we can apply the fill tool to it, but this other one is not, so it's just going to apply to the entire canvas. So just be careful when using the fill tool. So let's apply some colors to our eyes here. which is this, sorry, and this. So that's it about the fill tool. So this one here is the threshold, and you can use it to adjust how aggressive the fill tool feels its color. So we are done with the um, fill tool, the lasso tool, eraser, and brush tool. Let's look at the last tool, which is the text tool. So once you click on the text tool, you can just click on it again. Okay. So now we have the options underneath it, and we have another set of text options here. So we can use this one here to add our text. So let's write subscribe. Done. Insert, and we have insert our text here. So let's just, I think this is slant. Well, I guess it's straight. And now what we can do is we can use the transformation box, kind of like the lasso tool, to adjust the text box here, and we can change the perspective of how it looks, and that's it. We can do maybe like horizontal flip or your vertical flip, or anyone that we choose. So with that said, let's focus on this other part here, and we click on the first option here. We can select the fonts that we want to use. Let's use this one, and we change the font, and we can use this to increase the size of it. Let's just leave it at this, and we can use this to select the color. Let's use red, and that's it. Subscribe. So with that said, we are done with the tools by this side. So let's look at the top ones here. We've already covered, let's use the brush tool. We've already covered this one and this one. So we just have this one here and this one here to cover. So let's erase this off, and this and this. And let's look at the first one, this one here, the ruler tool. So once you click on the ruler tool, it brings up a straight line ruler as its default. So we can draw straight lines. Let's just, okay, well, it's a good size of the brush. So we can just draw a straight line by just tapping any part of our screen, and we'll have a straight line. So you can use this to apply straight lines to different parts of your screen. You can use the circle to adjust the straight line to any parts that you want it, or like a slant, or anyhow you just want to use it for your drawing. So if we want something like this, and we adjust it, and we can draw a straight line like this. And you use this, the square, to move the line to any angle. So that's how the straight line tool works. And we have the one for circles. We can draw a circle anywhere on our canvas, and we use this to move it, then we use this to adjust the circle. And the same thing goes for the square, and that's it. So the last one I want to look at is the mirror ruler. So let's erase this first. Let's switch to the eraser and wipe the bottom as well. Okay, and then we'll go back to our brush and to the mirror. So this works in a way that if you draw out one part, it just duplicates it at the other part. So if you're drawing something like this, you have a very good duplication, or like a mirror effect to it. So this is actually very good if you're drawing someone's head or something like that. So that's it about the mirror tool, and it works the same way as the straight line, where you can move this and this like this. So if you've like set the line at the point where you want it, this works for all the ruler. You can then just use the this padlock at the bottom here to lock the line, so that way it doesn't move and it's just fixed. So that's it about the ruler. One more thing is that once we zoom like this and we want to reset back our canvas, and we don't want to make a mistake like the way we have our canvas here like this, we can just click on this arrow here and it should reset our canvas to the default position. So that's it about the ruler and the other tools. So let's look at the frame, which is this one right here, this box here, and the layer tool, this one here. Let's undo this. So now the way the frame works and the layer as well is that you can think of the frame as a book. Let's draw a book here. Okay, so now that we have our book here, and let's just draw straight lines on each side. Okay, that's a very straight line, but we'll work with it. And we have another one here like this. Okay, so now you can think of the frame as this book here and the layers as a page in the book. So we have layer 1 being our page 1, and we have layer 2 as our page 2. So now the way this works is that the frame is the book, and anything you write on the first page, which is our layer 1, will be seen, but it won't affect what you write on the second page, which is our layer 2. So now let's try this out to see if you understand. Erase this. Okay, so now in our layer 1, we're on our layer 1. Let's draw something. And in our layer 2, let's add a new layer. And let's increase the size of our brush. Increase this very big. And then we change the color to red. And then we draw from like here to this point and back. Okay, I want to fill this up. Okay, and also this top here. Okay, perfect. So now in our layer 2, we have this red color drawing, and in our layer 1, all we have is our ball. So let's just drag this down. Okay, so the layer 1 is at the top and this will appear first. So you can see that we have our layer 1, the black drawing here, and it's not affected by the layer 2. The layer 2 is just showing at the back. So let's just fill this up so we don't have any misunderstanding. And then X and fill it. So now you can see it clearly that our frame is the book and the layers are like pages, with each page having different information on it. So that's it about the frames and layers. Let's just do a little ball animation here. So now we'll go back to our frame 1, and now we want to make a ball animation. Let's use the ruler tool. We need to make like a baseline so we would know where we use as our ground. Let's draw our baseline. We change this color to black, and then reduce the size of our brush. Let's say 18, and then we drag, and that's it. And then we change the ruler to the circular ruler, and let's make a ball here. Okay, we have our ball, and now that we're done, we close the ruler tool. Let's just fill our ball. Let's say light blue, and we fill it in, and that's it. I feel like the ball is the brush that we use, the brush size that we use for our ball is too big, or it's okay, you can adjust yours to your own taste. So now let's duplicate this frame by clicking on it and clicking on copy and paste it as the next frame. So we can then use the lasso tool to select our ball, and then we're just going to move it up here. And let's delete this. I was supposed to do that for the first frame. So let's copy this and paste it back again. Okay. So once we have our ball at the top, we want this ball to fall down to this point here and bounce back up. So we select the ball in this frame. Let's select that again. I feel like I didn't select it properly. Okay, and then we take it down slightly, let's see around this level, and then we'll leave it there, and we just duplicate this frame again. We paste it as the next frame, and then we select again and we take it down somewhere around here. For this one, we're going to stretch it in like this and just probably leave it like this. So this way we have like a form of force pulling the ball down. With that said, let's go to the next frame. We'll copy this one and paste it as the next frame. And we select the ball again and we take it down right about here. And now we want to like reduce the ball, sorry, not reduce. We want to like drag the ball back to its original shape. So we leave it at this point like this, and we go back to this one here. Let's just use the third frame here, and we copy it. We'll come to the fourth frame and we paste it as the next frame. So now we select the ball again and we rotate it. Keep it here. Just bend it like this slowly. Okay, and we just push it in a little bit and still rotate it. Take it down right about here, and that should be perfect. Just take it to the side like this. Okay, and now if we press play, we have our ball going down, but we want the ball going back up, so we're just going to copy the fourth frame here, and then we'll paste it as the sixth frame, and we paste the third frame. We'll copy it first and go to the sixth frame, and we paste it as the seventh frame, and we do the same thing for the second frame. So now we have like a reverse from 6 to 8. So now if we press play, we should have something like this. So that's how you can make a simple ball animation. So using the second layer, since our second layer is empty, let's just draw a background. So come here and we'll get brown. How can I get brown? Let's see. Okay, we got now brown, and then we increase the size of our brush. I want to make this very big, so it will be very easy to use. Okay, so now we draw our background. Okay, I think this is perfect enough, and we go back to the first frame, and we should have something like this. Oh, I forgot. We did this for only the first frame, so we have to copy this entire thing and paste it on the other frames. So if you're doing yours, don't make the same mistake as me and start with your background first before you create other frames for it. Let's select the second layer and then we lasso it up. So just keep it straight there and back up, and that's it. And then we copy this and we come to this frame and paste it on our second layer, paste it again, and just do for all frames. So if we go back and press play, we should have something like this. So that's just everything about the layers and the frames and how to do a simple ball animation. So with that said, let's just look at some media tools, which is this one here, the audio tool. And you can use the plus sign to add an audio from your file manager, or you can record an audio here or get an audio from your library. And you have different tracks to place your audio. That's just it about the audio icon. You can also add images by clicking on the three dots at the top, add an image from your gallery, or you can add a video. So that's it about the media icons. And if you need like a grid, you can switch this on, and if you go back to your canvas, you should have a grid here. Okay, the magic cut here is like a cropping tool that you can use to crop images once you add them or other items. So that's just it. The onion ring here is once let me just switch it on first so I can explain it. Once you click on the second frame, this let's say tracing of the previous frame is called an onion ring. It's used to keep track of your previous frame. So if you switch it off, that's it. It will no longer be there. So let's switch that back on. You can just click on make a movie and we select the output size and the format. You should just leave the settings the way they are. Oh, I already have a video here. You can replace this and that's it. You've successfully created an animation and exported it. Thank you for watching this tutorial. Do well to like and subscribe and leave a comment for any part of the video that you had problems with.